My partner sent me a message saying her pals believed my engagement proposal was dull. She insisted I redo it in front of everyone. I replied that it sounded like a great plan. What unfolded in the open wasn't quite what she had in mind. The social media update racked up 10,000 responses within the first hour. The initial announcement. I, a 32-year-old guy named Alex, popped the question to Sarah, 29, about 3 months back. We'd been a couple for 4 years and shared a home for the last 2. I figured I'd nailed it. We were at the lakeside overlook in the nature reserve where our lips first met, alone together. I used her grandma's gemstone, remounted in a bespoke band she'd eyed for months. Tears streamed down her face as she whispered yes. Joy filled us both, or at least that's what I believed. Last Tuesday, midway through my shift, this note popped up on my screen. Sarah, chatted with the crew lately. They unanimously called your proposal totally lame and secretive. No one got to witness it. Time for a fresh attempt, done right this time. Out in the open. Turn it into something extraordinary. Emily's guy pulled off a surprise dance routine with strangers. Taylor's was on the stadium screen during a match. I merit that level too. I froze, staring at the display for a full 60 seconds. Dull? Our special spot from day one was dull? The jewelry I'd crafted over 4 months was dull? And now, you expect me to stage another ask for an audience? Sure. How about this coming weekend at the outdoor bazaar? Coincidentally, all her buddies will wander by. Craft something unforgettable. Brilliant suggestion. Truly? Oh my God, absolutely. Promptly at 11 a.m. on Saturday. No letdowns. I set the device aside and settled on a course. She craved exposure. She yearned for impact. She'd receive both. Tuesday evening, I sifted through 4 years' worth of bills, messages, and recollections to BY Wednesday. I drafted a poignant statement. Thursday brought the formal cancellation of our betrothal, though she remained unaware. Friday went to orchestrating my grand reveal. Saturday dawned with Sarah buzzing like a live wire. Flawless cosmetics, a brand new outfit, nails freshly done. Her entire circle was clearly looped in. I spotted no fewer than 6 of them, milling about innocently close to the central square. Right on the dot at 11 a.m., I climbed onto the fountain's rim. Sarah's expression glowed. One of her pals fired up the camera. Pardon the interruption, folks, I announced. I've got a vital matter to disclose. Onlookers began to cluster. Sarah radiated delight, palms pressed to her lips in feigned astonishment. A few months prior, I asked this lady to marry me away from prying eyes, right where our romance sparked. Evidently, that fell short since it lacked the spectacle for her online feed. Sarah's grin stiffened. She pressed for an encore. Out here. So this is it. I drew out my device. Permit me to recite what I shared on social media earlier today. It's already garnered 10,000 engagements. Her complexion drained of color. Heading, Why Our Engagement is Over, a Cautionary Tale. I recited it loud and clear, ensuring everyone heard. Months ago, I asked Sarah to wed in seclusion. Just days back, she labeled it uninspired and pushed for a flashy public version to fuel her posts. Thus, I'll broadcast this instead. The assembly fell hushed. Sarah reached for my sleeve. I withdrew and pressed on. Over our 4-year run, I cleared her college debts, totaling $31,000. I handled housing costs during her 16-month job-hopping phase to pursue passions. I bankrolled her flop pyramid schemes, sinking roughly $8,000. I passed on an overseas career chance after she vowed self-injury if I went. Last month, I learned she'd been bad-mouthing me as domineering for suggesting a premarital agreement. Spectators were now snapping pics. Sarah's crew edged further off. Yet the clincher? Weeks earlier, she confided to her sibling that I was solid for commitment, no excitement, and intended to stay chummy with her former flame post-wedding. Proof shots are in my online update. Cease. Sarah wailed, you're shaming me publicly. You sought the spotlight, Sarah. This qualifies. Oh, and the band. I produced the case. Your grandma's gem is secure. I've extracted it for return to your kin. This one's synthetic crystal, mirroring this bond. All flash. No substance, purely for appearances. I flung the container toward her shoes. For the gathering here, every claim I've voiced is backed up on my profile. To Sarah's filming pals, may it spread like wildfire. And Sarah, you desired lasting. Does this suffice? I departed. In my wake, her howls echoed, her group attempting to soothe her, and a lone set of deliberate applause. By home arrival, footage had hit short video apps. Follow-up 1, 72 hours on. Wow, this blew up massively. The bizarre clip sits at 2.8 million plays on short-form sites. A remix with that cringy track has it trending nonstop. Yet the arrogance locomotive hasn't slowed. It sped up. Sunday AM, post-bizarre blowout. I stirred to 47 unanswered rings. Not from Sarah, from her mother, Linda. This lady's always been forceful. Picked up on attempt 48. How could you degrade my girl that way? You're heartless. Me? She pushed for a spectacle ask. I delivered a spectacle reply. She warrants remorse and the authentic band restored. That gem was ancestral. The core was. It's out, and I'll ship it back to you all. The amount I funded remains mine. You're bound by law to restore it. It's a betrothal gift. The betrothal she basically voided by deeming it lackluster and craving a show. Conversation over. Ended the line. But Linda persisted. Soon after, she'd launched a character assault on social platforms, flooding neighborhood forums with rants about my cruelty and theft from her offspring. Issue. The footage circulated. Replies didn't favor her. Lady, your kid comes off as spoiled rotten. He settled her education bills, and she gripe. Rooting for Plaza Dude. Monday hit at the office, and personnel summoned me. My gut twisted. Evidently, Sarah had rung alleging I fostered a toxic atmosphere. Since our paths crossed at a firm gathering 4 years prior. She urged my dismissal. The staffer seemed drained. Listen, we've viewed the footage. We've reviewed your proofs. She isn't even employed here. Merely logging our chat. Avoid any drama during hours or premises. End of story. But Tuesday dawn brought the peak twist. Sarah appeared at my residence with 3 companions and her brother Mike, 25M, who fancies himself rugged from weightlifting. Through the entry cam, I observed them hammering the entrance. Sarah, open the door. I sense you're inside. We must converse. Yeah, man. Step up and confront her. I buzzed via intercom. This is restricted grounds. Depart or authorities get notified. Sarah burst into tears, but furious, demanding sobs, not heartbroken ones. You owe me 4 years, for years invested. You can't broadcast the split like that. You broadcasted the plea for a redo ask. You received a broadcasted answer. Bro, hand over the band and we'll bounce with the phony. She possesses it. The core's en route to Linda via tracked post. Now go. You'll rue this. Sarah's father has legal eagles. Mine does too. And his holds records of Sarah's insists and my counter. Final heads up prior to emergency services. They retreated, though not sans Mike stomping the panel on vid and Sarah scratching a nearby ride, mistaking it for mine. Mine's in the undercroft. She was aware, yet evidently too worked up for logic. The owner fumed. He'd caught the clip, regardless. Thus, in alerting law enforcement, he backed me. Sarah faced cuffs for property harm. Mike earned a caution for the stomp. That night, Sarah shared on photo sharing from lockup. Believing you truly knew a person after 4 years, only for them to shatter your world over a plea for affection. Replies savaged her. Affection means staging a routine. Lad. Lady, you dropped a goldmine. 31K in tuition cleared and you whined. But the gem was from her relative. Sis, you straight up admitted to me recently you were just coasting with him. This is payback. The presumptuousness lingered, however. Wednesday evening, a payment app pinged from Sarah for $2,500 tagged as mental anguish and banned sub. I rejected and fired back one for $31,000 tagged as tuition I covered amid your dull label. She ghosted me. At last. Follow up to 7 days on. The spectacle persists. These days have been utter chaos, and Sarah's presumptuousness has soared beyond imagination. Thursday, Sarah's father, David, rang. Unlike Linda's tirades, he was composed, eerily so. Lad, let's act sensibly now. You've aired your grievance. The webs enjoyed its laughs. Time to hash out rectification. Nothing to hash, David. Here's the outlook. You'll issue a open regret, frame it as a mix-up, and we'll proceed united. Sarah might entertain reconciliation. I chuckled outright. She might entertain me post-dissing my ask as uninspired and craving a theatrical act. She's youthful. She aired. You shamed her openly. That's mistreatment. No, David. Mistreatment was her vowing injury when I landed a global role. Mistreatment was her sidelining my circle she vetoed. Sharing facts is mistreatment. I've poured resources into Sarah's path. Her nuptials were eyed for my professional ties. And there, the core motive. Sarah had pledged some lavish elite ceremony to aid father's outreach. David, I'll extend $50,000 for you to reclaim her and handle it fittingly. Bribing me. David, I'm addressing an issue. My girl's image impacts my ventures. Ought to have guided her wiser then. Farewell, David. Friday marked detonation. I awoke to my professional network swamped with invites and notes. Sarah had dropped a weepy short clip lamenting her joblessness from the online shame. She accused me of tanking her opportunities and fiscal mistreatment by halting aid. Catch. She'd scarcely built a resume. Across 4 years, 6 gigs, each abandoned for whims. Supervisor harsh, required punctuality. Setting poisonous. They anticipated output. Vibe adversarial. They frowned on her feed scrolls. Yet her clip exploded too. Not favorably. Diggers unearthed her feeds, brimming with upscale items I'd funded. Her messages on envision your ideal existence, royals, and refuse anything subpar. The short clip from 8 weeks prior, boasting how she roped me into covering her top pal's pre-wedding getaway in Florida since he can't refuse me, huh? A montage clip hit 6 million plays. Saturday AM, curveball. Mike arrived solo. No slamming entry this round. Merely a civil rap. Man, might we chat? For real? I cracked the door, barring entry. What's your angle, Mike? He shifted awkwardly. Sorry for the panel bash and all the mess. I lacked the whole picture. And now you're clued in? Sarah's bunked at our folks since the rift. Eye-opening stuff. She ordered Mom to prep her meal this morning, claiming too shattered to handle it. Then raged when the eggs came jumbled, not soft-boiled. I stayed mute. Mike went on. She's been labeling you harsh and overbearing. Yet she also griped to Mom you were cash abusive for skipping her card bill this cycle. The one you never signed on for that she topped off post-split. Rings true. Plus, she's been messaging her old beau, Chad, claiming you were wildly possessive over him, hence the public takedown. Chad captured them and aired them. He's wed now, and his spouse irked over Sarah's midnight sob fests about availability. Why spill to me, Mike? 'Cause my clan's nuts, and you merit the heads up that you chose wisely. Also, Sarah's scheming. She's been dialing some rep fixer on reshaping her tale. Stay vigilant. Sunday revealed the scheme. Sarah guested on a chat show with a romance advisor peddling a Royals backing Royals forum. The full segment spun on enduring ego-driven harm and spotting cash coercion in pairings. She deadpanned that setly. Settling her tuition was leverage since it bound her to me. The ask aimed to cut her from her network, and the open split screamed ego fury as she began asserting herself. The host lapped it. Such courage, such resilience. You're a beacon for females globally. Then the true hustle. Sarah declared, penning a reveal volume titled Dull Guys, Shattered Visions. My path from open shame to liberation. Pre-sales at $49.99, vowing to unveil the grim realities of our tie and drop unseen proofs of my alleged harm. She built a full site with her tear-streaked bizarre snap as the banner. The buy page flaunted endorsements from her posse on her guts and uplift. Linda pinned one dubbing me a sly puppeteer wielding funds to sway a pure soul. Swiftly, web sleuths mobilized. One spotted the endorsements lifted from other growth tomes with swaps. Another flagged the book code tied to an existing tome on barbecue arts. Prime bit. Her preview segment bore edit marks from pal Lisa's tweaks. Notes like this feels contrived and no one'll buy. He uttered that, and dial back the sufferer angle a tad lingered in her upload. Book lovers torched her project. Message boards erupted. A spoof profile birthed snippets from the tome, ramping up to wilder accusations. My top. He mandated sharing oxygen with me, which I now see as air-based torment. Monday AM, she shifted gears. Launching a guidance firm for uplifting ladies in harmful ties. Debut session. Spotting cash harm when his funds turn reins. $299 a seat. The promo sheet reused a bizarre shot. Namely, my phone reading instant, doctored to seem menacing as she posed harmed. That crossed the line. I dialed counsel. Closing note. 3 weeks passed. The formal notice halted Sarah's guidance venture pre-launch. Employing one's likeness commercially sans okay, while slinging false barbs, proves legally dicey. Evidently, Sarah countered via Linda's weepy plea over wrecking Sarah's sole shot at self-reliance. The twist of deeming her scam bid self-reliant. while pressing me to bankroll her escape them. But the true rap arrived a fortnight prior. Sarah's pal Taylor, the Stadium Ask recipient, connected. She sought to sit down over brew despite my doubts. I consented. I must express regret. She opened. Our group spurred the Spectacle Ask push. We convinced her yours lacked flair. For what? Taylor flushed with guilt. Truthfully, envy. Your ask rang ideal, intimate, sincere, considerate. But Sarah kept venting about exclusion since we'd all snagged these grand open tales to share. We amplified it. She halted, then tacked on. Also, heads up. Chad initiated contact, not vice versa. He caught the bizarre footage and figured she'd amuse now single. As she mulled reclaiming you for the funds, he spilled all. Hold on. She eyed reunion? Taylor affirmed. Scheme was spectacle redo, mega ceremony, bide a year, then split with support. She dubbed it her exit strategy. Father looped in. Hence the cash offer. I lingered, brew cooling, absorbing. Taylor pressed. Lisa and I sat in on her rep fixer coaching. The pro urged claiming harm for pity and funds. Sarah chuckled, noting, he was such a snooze. Painting him harmful be simple. Why disclose? Cause it's foul. And cause Sarah's now pulling it on a fresh fellow. Linked up a fortnight back, already wetting chatter. He merits the warning on his catch. She shared his details. I messaged, forwarded the footage and records. He expressed thanks and cut her off instantly. Prior week sealed it. Sarah's final swing. She spun a bogus photo profile and messaged my sibling, warning I was unhinged and risky, urging a welfare check. My sibling, who'd always disliked Sarah, captured it all and relayed to me. That tipped to a no-contact mandate. Sarah got papers at her folks. Per Mike's apologetic text, she unraveled fully. Hurled objects, bellowed on the wrongness, then pressed parents to litigate for life-ruining. David hit limit. Informed her 30 days to land work and vacate. Linda balked, but David quit. His firm actually dipped from the footage link. 2 key partners bailed on PACs, flagging family ethics worries. Yesternight, a ping from an unfamiliar line. Sarah, via a pal's device. You triumphed. Satisfied? I'm stocking shelves at a retail chain now. Retail chain. I hold a qualification. You're doing. I'll hold this grudge eternally. I left it unread. Just logged the line for the mandate file. The bizarre ask footage endures at 8.2 million across nets. Folks turned at meme stock. When you insist on spectacle asks, when you land a spectacle reply, I'm faring fine. Counseling unpacked the Thai habits I'd overlooked. Apparently, funding one's path while labeled uninspired isn't standard or sound. Imagine that. Began seeing someone fresh last month. On our 3rd outing, I shared the saga, and she giggled, begging if the footage survived. We streamed it side by side. She fist-bumped at the band drop. Last evening, she quizzed my takeaways. That if they reveal their essence, trust it. And if they crave open drama, deliver one etched forever. She chuckled. Note to self, skip demanding spectacle asks. Agreed. But FYI, no more asks from me. Next one's a chat on courthouse basics. Rings ideal. Uninspired, yet ideal. We cracked up. Uninspired never rang sweeter. Oh, and David's firm? Slid 30% last period. Seems when your offspring trends for arrogance and you bid to hush it, folks clock it. Linda kicked off a site on parental web harassment woes. Boasts 4 followers. Can only. Mike sent one final sorry, and we share brews now and then. Solid chap, trapped with a tricky sib. And Sarah? Still at retail, per Mike. Still at parents. Still dropping uplift mantras on rebirth and royals owning their value. Still unattached. How karma rolls.